Crafty creators! Welcome back to Flosstube! As always, you guys are such genuine gems for joining me. Thank you so much for being here today. A big welcome back to my returning subscribers and viewers. You guys absolutely make my day and warm my little heart every time you drop a cheeky like or leave a comment downstairs so that we can have a chat. It really is my favorite notification on my phone. It just lights up my day so much. You guys have no idea what it means to me that you guys want to write in and comment and hang out. It's the best thing. And a huge hi, hello, how are you? To everyone that might be new and have just found me. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope you like what you've seen so far and you found a reason to stay and hang out with all of us. My name is Miss Chloe and this is my little corner of the internet where I get to share my cross-stitching journey with you guys. Today it is a normal update kind of day. I have done a lot of stitching in the past 2 weeks and I cannot wait to show you guys to give you an idea of what my table looks like. Look at the stack, you guys! I managed to work on so many projects and this isn't even all of them because there are 2 secret projects, 2 of them that I have worked on that I can't show you yet. But if we wait a few weeks, I will be able to. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So quickly to recap for people that don't know what's going on with my secret project. I have signed up for a couple of smalls exchanges at Christmas. So my local craft group down at the Woodcraft, we are doing a smalls exchange, which is very, very exciting. We are not drawing names. We are not knowing who these are going to. So we're making a small object. We're fully finishing it. And then we're going to wrap it and pop it on the table in a couple weeks time. And everyone will just draw that put one in. So we'll all get a random gift from another friend over at the Woodcraft, which I think is going to be really fun. So I've finished the stitching body for that one. It's done. It's pretty. I can't wait to get it like fully finished. I've shown a couple of secret people who have been in my DMs because I was very excited and I wanted to show somebody what I'd done. So mine is very cute. It's very little. It's really sweet. And I can't wait to sit down and fully finish it. I'm hoping to do that this weekend and get a little bit of time in, which should be really nice. And then it can get wrapped up and go to the Woodcraft. The second secret piece I worked on is another Christmas exchange because I saw someone post in one of my Australian groups that just said, smalls exchange, late notice, December. And I went, yeah, that sounds like fun. So, I'm in that one too. I am halfway through stitching that one. So hopefully I will get that finished. I am thinking that I'll finish the 2 items the same way. And that way I just have to have one big finishing day. I don't have to get extra materials. I don't have to work anything out. I can just do it twice and then I can wrap them and one gets posted and one gets taken to the Woodcraft and it's all done. So the Woodcraft exchange is happening on the 8th. Which means I need to shake a tail feather because we are almost at that time. And then our other exchange is happening, I believe, on the 14th. So I have roughly another week to get that one in, or 6 days, in which I need to finish it, wrap it. I need to send a photo to our secret moderator, and then she will give me the address and the name of the person that I'm sending my gift to. I am so excited. I think this is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see what I get. Hopefully I'm going to get a few little things that can go up on my secret hoop wall at home. And I just think it's going to be really cool. So I'm very excited for that. But obviously I can't show you what I'm working on yet because what if one of you is watching? Then you'll know what you're going to get. And that's not so much fun. I like the idea of a surprise. So hopefully in a couple videos time, I'll be able to post out what we've done and you guys will be able to see what's going on there. So that being said, I think we should jump into the pile. As you saw, there are quite a few things here. We've got a couple of scroll frames. We've got about 3 Q-snaps sitting on my desk. I think we should do it. So first things first, let's bring up a favorite that you guys absolutely love on her sparkly weave. It's the study of skulls. And I'm caught up, you guys, I did it. We did have an off week, but I'm still caught up. So here's your close up because she is itty bitty. So we have the study of skulls. This one is from the Stitch Crypt, and I, in my insanity, am stitching this 1/1 on 32 count opalescent even weave from Crafty. The fabric is called Poseidon, and I'm just doing this one pretty much as called for. There are a few little tiny changes that I've made so far. So one is, of course, the banner. I have put my initial in it because my friend was amazing and just said, you should do this. I'm doing this. So now I've done it. And then instead of the bright white for all the highlights in the skulls, I have used number 5, which I think is like a tin. It's not gray, but it's not white. I don't know what it is, but it's nice. It's nice. On camera, it doesn't come up as strongly, but in person, the difference is pretty astounding. So I'm really happy with the level of contrast, because I think on this fabric, the bright white was just smacking me in the face a little bit too much. A little bit too much. So when you last saw it, I was working on this little bird and these little flowers, and then we got this skull all on his own by himself. I really enjoyed doing him, although his teeth being missing freaked me out a bit. Just a little bit. I kept thinking I'd counted wrong, and then I had to put a pattern keeper into black. So I put it into dark mode so that I could see all the white stitches and be sure that I was actually doing things where they're supposed to be, because I kept having heart attacks. I, like a fool, did the white stitches early on so that they would stay clean and beautiful, forgetting that when you put something in Pattern Keeper and you tick it off and you say, yes, I have done that, it doesn't show a symbol anymore. So you're forever being like, but there's a stitch next to that stitch, and I don't think there should be a stitch next to that stitch. What is going on? Girl, oh my God. I had so many meltdowns. And then my husband's like, does that thing have dark mode? You should put it in dark mode. Put it in dark mode and bam, white stitches everywhere. So I guess there's a lesson for you. If you're using white, switch to dark mode until you can get it surrounded. But this one has been really, really fun so far. I have very much enjoyed that. This is the latte cameo. Hello, darling. Do you want to say hello to the people? This is Latte. This is my middle child with her fluffy feet. She's a little cutie. Because of the weather changes, she's been a bit clingy, so she might be up and down on the window. She might be up and down on the window. Sorry about that, you guys. Where was I? Very distracting, Latte. Anyway, so that is where my study of skulls is up to. I believe we get another release this week and next week. So hopefully I can keep those up so that I can come and see you and be like, it's still in time. I'm good, you guys. I'm good. Because I am really enjoying the fact that I am up to date on something. She says, looking at her pile in despair. I'm up to date on, I think, 2 things this week. So that's nice. That's nice, you know? But yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I'm really enjoying just how dainty this one is coming out because of the size that we're doing it with the 1/1. I think it's going to be really sweet. So I cannot wait to go op shopping and find the perfect frame for this one. Okay, next up we're staying on the 1/1 train, so I think you guys know who's coming out if you've been here before. It's my scary sampler! You guys, my house is completely moored in. I did it. She is all filled in. I've started putting in the windows. I have finished filling in the roof. I am feeling very successful on this one. Very successful. I'll pop her over here. So since I last saw you, I did finish off all of the mortar in between the bricks for our little housey. I have done the extra gable up here that was missing, and I've done some black outlining on the roof, so it's got a black gutter. I think that's cute. I think she's okay. And then I have started the grass. You guys, the grass. Look at the image. There is so much grass. So much grass, and it's only 2 colors.
So I have been quietly replacing it because it was the same two colors as the greens in these little alien parts. And I thought it just needed something a bit different. I couldn't just work in dark green and lime green. I had to add some context in here. So I am using 367 for the block of grass that I'm doing. So this will be this little tiny hill here that goes underneath the house and has the Beetlejuice snake. And then I am picking between two other greens for this side, and whichever green I don't use over here, I will use up in the tree, because the Whomping Willow that's here also has a lot of dangly branches, and she's very, very green. But again, she was this green. So I needed something different. I needed to add a bit more depth to this sampler. Thank you so much to Liz and Joe and Amy. You guys have been amazing. I asked all of you guys your opinions on some different colors that I put out to try and match the tone of this piece. And I am really, really happy with how it's coming out. I think the green is just right that we've picked for the grass on this side. I am very excited. This piece, of course, is called the Scary Sampler. It is from Beth Twist of Heartstrings Samplery. And I am working this 1/1 on 28 count. So it's not quite as small as skulls, but it is a good size. I think this is actually my new favorite stitch method. 32 seems okay, but it's just a little hard on the eyes. 28 seems to be my sweet spot, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So I do hope to do more over one work. Something I will need to learn though is how to do partial stitches over one, because I don't know yet. I don't know, and trying to split these tiny little things is going to make me cry, I think. But if anyone does a lot of over one work and knows what they're talking about here and can give me some good advice, please let me know. I did have Lara from the Pattern Queens reach out and tell me that going the longest distance would be my best bet for over one work. So that's been really, really helpful to go the longest distance. I think I've worked out what she meant. I can't really explain it. Words fail me. Other than longest distance, but it has become a lot smoother, a lot easier. So thinking about that travel space that we usually try and minimize to maximize it and just give yourself a little bit more breathing room, it definitely stops the slippage. So I'm really, really happy with it. Really happy with it. I am absolutely in love with this piece. So much like how I'm trying to keep skulls up, I think for this one, I'm just going to keep working on the grass. But I'm already over the grass. This is a lot of stitches of grass and it looks like nothing. It looks like nothing. So I think my aim for this one, I'm gonna do a couple of lengths of grass and then finish filling in the windows. They all have black little window frames in them. So I'm hoping to finish filling those in so that I can go around and do the white, because there are some little ghosties and things like that in the windows as well, which is super fun. So I might just stick to that. I might just make this one a really small aim. I feel like I'm gonna get pretty sick of doing this grass, so it's gonna be a bit of a slog, but I do plan to do a couple of lengths of green and then a couple of lengths of something else. The trick is to get to the point where I can do lengths of something else, right? Because the Beetlejuice snake, for example, is in the middle of the grass, so I have to plot him. So I have to get my grass over to the Beetlejuice snake to get him done. And then my tombstones, very similarly, they're sort of out here somewhere. So I have to get grass this way until I have a space for the tombstones. And then those will be okay to do. And then I've got to put in the tree. So I might actually count off the house and see if we can get the tree in. And then I'll be working in brown and green, and I don't think that's so bad. So I think that could be very manageable, a lot of fun. But that is where she's up to. And hopefully next time we see each other, she'll have some more work done in her. Next up, we have another pretty one that I know you guys love. Books are magic! Here's your close-up, enjoy. So since I last saw you guys, I have filled in the bookmark. I have filled in the pink at the top of the magic book, and I have filled in the turning pages. So it's the big white ones. So again, I turned my pattern keeper into dark mode. I learned that lesson, it was very helpful. I I turned my pattern keeper into dark mode, and I was able to very easily track the stitches for the page itself, which was really, really lovely. And then obviously keeping it in dark mode to start plotting the flowers that come off the book. To get it going. I am so happy with this. So this pattern is, of course, Books Are Magic. It is by Counting Puddles, and I am stitching this one with a whole collection of you guys. If you want to know who is stitching this, jump over to my Instagram page. I have listed everyone in the description of this photo. So every time I post this, I tag all of the lovely human beings that are doing this one with us, so that they can see my progress, just as I like to go and see theirs. The tags are just such a fun way to do it. So I have all of their handles listed there. But I think there's about 10 of us doing this now, which is super fun. A couple of people have finished. Amy finished hers, she modified it, so she took out a lot of the back stitch at the top and just had the main body of the piece, which is really cool to see. And I believe Morgan has also finished hers. And I think Cora's done with the body of the stitching, and is just doing back stitching. And it's so pretty, and I really want to catch up. I just basically need to have an extra week off of my life as an extra person just to stitch the things I really want to catch up and I want to finish, because they're all calling to me. But that's been such a problem in the past 2 weeks, you guys. You have no idea. Like, every time I've walked into my craft room, something different's been like, hey, come get me. And I've pulled it down off the shelf and I've worked on it, which is why we've ended up with so many things. So many things. But that's okay, because we're still working through. Unfortunately, it does mean I'm not working quite as long as I would like to on each piece. So I think I just cannot wait for Christmas holidays, in which I can pull them all off the shelf and give everyone some love. And that way we'll have a very, very up-to-date whip parade for January, you guys. Love that for us. I love that for us. But yes, so in the last 2 weeks, I did all of the white pages, which was a bit of a slog. I don't like white. It never sits pretty. I need to get one of those laying tools that you pop on your finger, to try and get it to sit really, really flat, because I find the white always just looks funny. I don't know. Even when I railroad, it's not quite right. So I've got to fix that. But if you have suggestions on stitching with white, especially so that backstitch and stuff like that can go over it nice and solid, let me know. Hit me up here, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Instagram, wherever you've got me hanging out. Let me know, because your girl needs help. Needs help. I'm a bit of a train wreck. I am so sorry. So I've done all of the white. I filled in the color on the bookmark. As I said, the top of the magic book is done now. Quite a bit of this little butterfly dude, he's in. There's another one, he's up here somewhere. And I've started putting in the first purple flower. So I've mainly worked on this on video calls with my friends. So a few of you have seen it coming to life, which has been really, really fun. This I am stitching 2 over 2, so 2 threads over 2 squares here. Which has been really nice, because the 1 over 1 is starting to kill me, you guys, honestly, but also it's cute and I love it. I love it. I have a problem. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I am stitching this on 2 over 2. It is by Counting Puddles, and this is on a 32 count even weave from Bestitch Me. It is called Cosmos. And of course, she is covered in glitter, because reading is magic, and you can't have magic without a little bit of sparkle. So I felt like this fit and is really nice. As you can see, we're coming up now. We're starting to get into the lighter patch, which sort of runs this way across the fabric, which means that our moon and stuff will all be in this darker patch again, which I think is going to be really, really nice. I like the idea that all of the light is coming out of the book. Completely accidental. I did not fussy point this to work out placements for the smudging. It just happened. It just happened. Sometimes the universe is kind to us, right? Sometimes the universe is great. So yeah, it looks to me like all of this Aurora type situation is coming out of our book itself, which is just so much fun. I love it so much. But yeah, that's where this one's up to. So hopefully I will get to pick this one back up in the next couple of weeks. And I'm just going to keep working on these little flowers. So these are pink branches that come out in the pages. And then there's more little flower heads and things like that that grow up from the book itself. So I'm pretty excited to be working on this one. I can't wait to catch up with everybody. I feel like I am so far behind on everything, but that's fine. I can't wait to catch up with everybody and sort of share where we're going with this piece. I also don't know how I'm going to finish it. I am thinking I'm going to have to frame it. I do have a library. It's actually behind me. It's not this shelf. This shelf is just the overflow books. I have an entire library that my poor husband has very quietly built me over the years. He helped me make Billy bookcases and a window seat and things like that. So once the library's set up, I think this is going to be a piece that's framed and on the wall in there as a bit of reading decor. All right, you guys, we have 3 projects left on the table. We are almost there this time. We are almost there. We have 2 oldies that you definitely haven't seen in about a year. And we have 1 new boy. So I am going to bring up the new boy because I'm very excited about him. Very, very excited. You guys, it's Krampus. Look at my little goat demon man. I love him so much. I love him so much. Here is your close-up. This is part of the new stitch along from the lovely Lola Crow. So this is the Christmas Monsters Sal. For this, you guys might remember last year I did her stitch along as well and I didn't finish it. I am more determined this year. We want to finish it this year. But the first one came out and I got so excited, you guys. I love Christmas cryptids. I just love cryptids in general. I always have. I like the spooky things. I think they're a lot of fun. I like the little mysteries. But this is Krampus. Krampus came out 2 weeks ago, just after our last video went up. And I was so keen to work on him. I was so happy when he popped up in my inbox. I had to start him pretty much straight away. The problem was, of course, I had misread all the dates. So I didn't have a Q-snap spare. I didn't have threads organized, and I certainly didn't have any fabric. Thank you so much to Sue and Amy. You guys were absolutely incredible. You guys helped me out a lot while I was sending photos of random fabrics, being like, what about this, or this, or this? And then I went through all of my kitted projects, and I found this. I found this. It is just big enough if I finish everything as hoops. And I think it's the perfect tones. So last year I did them on a grey, and this year I wanted to do them on a grey, so they kind of matched in. So I was so excited. I went through and I will have to replace this from the project that it originally came from. I'm not quite sure what the fabric is called because I didn't look. I literally just ripped it out of the bag and I was like, I found grey! And then I measured it and I got really excited. Really excited, my poor husband. He was just like, what's going on up there? Are you okay? I'm like, no, I need to stitch Krampus. Thank you, bye. That was my response. I need to stitch Krampus. Thank you, bye. And I did. I did stitch Krampus. I managed to do this whole ornament in one day. I sat there powering through at night with my friends in my little chat groups. So I think I was watching that new cooking show that's on Netflix, Cooking Class Wars. And I was marathoning that and marathoning him. And I'm sitting there stitching him and I sent a message to Mel and Liz in our little chat and I just went, do you think I can finish him? I think I can finish him. It's a lot, but I think I can finish him. And they were so supportive and believed in me. And yes, I did finish him. I finished him in one day. I was the first person to finish this portion of the stitch along, which I have never had that on before. Not ever. So that was really, really exciting that I got featured in the Lola Crow story. And people got to see my work. I was so excited. And then I realized after finishing him that it comes out every 2 weeks, not every week. So I didn't have to hustle quite that much. I didn't have to hustle quite that much. I thought it was going to be like last year where it came out every single week. No, I misread that too. It's fortnightly, girl. It's fortnightly. Which is great because this was a lot of stitching and it really hurt my arm. because I didn't have my stand where I was, so I was literally stitching like this, which is terrible for you. Do not do it. Do not stitch that way. Use a stand or hold it up and use one hand. Don't be silly. I was a silly potato. So we're not gonna do that because I ended up with arm cramps and hand cramps. But thanks to Mel's suggestion, I did stretch a lot, and I am still doing that. So if you are stitching, I recommend stretching breaks. You know, little finger flexes, the old piano exercises, and like this is actually weirdly great. It stretches out all of the muscles. So just doing this with your hand and putting it backwards towards yourself stretches everything. Everything. It's amazing. It's amazing. But I'm really happy with how this guy's coming out. So because I just ripped this out of a random ass project and I did not check the designer or anything for the fabric itself, she could be anything. I do have to go back and find it, but I do know it's a linen and it is a 32 count and it is gray. And that my friend sent it to me along with the other stuff, so I'll have to look into that. It'll be written on the project when I get to it. It's fine. It's fine. So we'll have to look into that, and then I can obviously tell you guys what it is. But I just think it is the perfect depth of grey for all these colours. They are really popping. While I was stitching him though, because I started with Krampus himself and his little basket, before I got to his face, before I got the eyes and the tongue and the horns, it all for the world looked like Mr. Tumnus. So I was sending people messages that just said, "Dear Mr. Tumnus, why are you carrying Lucy into the woods?" So in my head, they're kind of related now. Yep, that's happening. But yeah, the next release for this one should come out just after this video is done. So I'm very excited about that. I am hoping to have it completely finished by next video so that I am keeping it up. But I don't think I want to stitch it in a single day again. That was a little bit much. Just a little bit much. But I am really, really happy with how this has come out. And I can't wait to see which other spooky Christmas monsters we're going to get from Lola Crow. Alright, considering we just did Lola Crow's Monsters Christmas sale, I think we should update you on the Creepy Christmas Village sale. This is from last year. Here is your close-up. In the last couple weeks, I have worked on the little gazebo portion of the release, and I managed to finish that one. I'm really happy with it. And I have started Past, Present, and Future, which is the 3 little ghosties. So we are almost there. So this was a set of 6 ornaments, whereas this uses a set of 4 ornaments. And this one came with a bonus ornament, so I will have to stitch him afterwards if I have enough fabric left over. He is called the Merry Mole, and he's just so sweet. So sweet, so I'll have to work him out. I think I'm going to finish all of these guys as little hoops to hang up on the hoop wall, because while they are Christmas themed, they're not overly Christmassy, so I feel like they can be out all year long, which is really, really good because I like when my stitching can just be out. I like having things on display and things up, and I like being able to change them, but I don't want to put things away that can only come out for a month or two. It just makes me sad. It makes me sad. So hopefully I can get this one finished this year. I am stitching it while I wait for the other one to have its releases now that I've worked out there for 2 weeks. But I am very excited. This one is done 2/2 as well on a 32 count, but unlike the last one, which was a linen, this one is an even weave. This is from Steel City Stitches, and it is called Black Pearl. She is of course opalescent because, well, I felt like the snow needed something. So last year I got myself an opalescent fabric and we went with that. And I am so happy with how it's turning out. I love my little creepy Christmas gazebo. I think it's really sweet. I did make a change in it. When I couldn't sleep at about ridiculous o'clock in the morning, maybe 3 a.m., 4 a.m. when I woke up and I just couldn't go back to sleep, of course, I went to stitch and watch Ghost Whisperer. And you know what my brain did? It went, hey, you know what'll look really good? If your spider's webs catch the light too. they should be glittery and holographic and pretty like a real spider's web. And I went, yeah, that's a great idea. We should do that. We should do it. Sleep-deprived Chloe proceeded to pick up DMC light effects. Which is crunchy and not fun to work with. Not fun to work with, not at the best of times, let alone ridiculous in the morning when I'm like, la 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 la, because I am delusional and tired. But I did it. I have found with the light effects that if you want it to pull down and actually have good tension, you've got to do traditional backstitch. I thought I was going to get away with couching, you guys, where, you know, you lay it over the top and then you just pin it in place. Nope. 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 That looked horrible. So I had to pull it out because it was all weird and it wouldn't tension correctly. And then I had to sit there and redo them all. Again, at ridiculous in the morning, my brain was alert enough to say, that's not right. That's not right. You need to fix it. But not alert enough to go, you should wait until tomorrow when you're up at a normal hour to do this. So, I didn't, and that was silly. That was silly. But I am really enjoying this one. So obviously we had the 3 at the top that I finished last year and the horseman that I finished last year. And that just left us with the last 2 and the little mole. So I am super keen to get this one done. I am hoping, again, to finish this year along with the Christmas monster stitch along from the same designer so that I can get them all done and I can just spend a day finishing them. It'll be about 11 things to finish, so I'll have to have an FFO day and just sit there and do it, because otherwise it'll be like everything else. This little cubone that's up here and this parrot, you may not have noticed, but in previous videos, they were just sat in hoops. Because I don't like finishing their hoops off. I don't like doing a running stitch and having to pull everything tight and make sure it's it. So I just folded the fabric in on itself inside the hoop and left it there. I have finished the 2 of them now. They are done now. I did running stitch them. I did a whole day where I just running stitched a bunch of things and watched like Food Wars, but they're done now, but they did sit there for the longest time on the shelf with the fabric just poking out a little bit on a few angles where it had been folded in. So I will have to spend a day actually finishing these guys. I have to finish these guys. But I am thinking hoops. I did get some great hoops from Ginger Stitch, so I'm excited to use those. As for progress on the next time I see you guys, I'd like to have a few more colors filled in on this one. I am halfway through the white right now. Again, pattern keeper dark mode. And I can switch it out later. So there's usually, you can see on the bottom of this one and these guys that there's a little bit of blue and a little bit of white. So I'm hoping to get those bits in, and then it will just be fill in for the rest of our ghosties to get this piece done, and then I can work on the berry mole. The last thing I have to share with you guys today is something that I haven't worked on in about a year, but I am so happy it's coming back out. This is Mermaids of the Seasons from Bella Filipina Designs. As you guys can see, I have almost finished the first mermaid. There are 4 in the set. So this is Spring. Her main stitching and her main beading is done. I just need to do her border and the word spring and she'll be finished. And then I have chuffed over to start on Summer. These are on 32 count even weaves from Sew It All. So this one is Pink Clouds over here with our Spring Mermaid, and our Summer Mermaid is going on Cloud Green, which is sort of the same feel, the same sort of tone. And I have similar colors for all the other ladies as well. There isn't much going on with our Summer Mermaid as yet. I have started putting in her skin, which of course is 1/1 on 32 count. Because when I started these guys, I decided to do all the skin as 1/1 to make it really smooth, and then the hair and the scales as 2/2, just to give it a bit more depth and a bit more variation. So this is the first time I had done that with a project, and I am so happy with how it's turning out. Here is a close-up of spring so you can really see the difference and see what I mean there. And I'm gonna actually put this one down. So I will do a split screen comp for you because the scroll frame is very, very heavy, very, very heavy. So I have only just started summer, but that little tiny bit of stitching that you saw there, that is just over 300 stitches. I did use her for a fandom prompt. So that's why I know how many stitches are sitting there. And because of course it's 1/1, each stitch is 4. So when you look at a normal chart, you think, oh yeah, that's 1 stitch. But when you're doing it 1/1 with everything else 2/2, your 1 stitch becomes 4 little stitches in the same space. So there's a lot of work in doing skin this way, but I think it really gives something to the piece. It makes it very, very pretty. And even though I hate doing it at the time, I absolutely love how they turn out. As you've seen, spring is just absolutely gorgeous, and it makes her seem really smooth and really flat and really nice. And then it really bulks out her tail, and her tail looks like it's chunky and there and real and covered in scales. So I really love the depth and the way that that's turned out. These are, of course, from Bella Filipina Designs. This is last year's Mermaid Stitch Along. I believe they brought one out this year as well, with like a treasure chest, and all the mermaids are on one piece together. So this piece is supposed to be a single stitched piece on one piece of fabric. However, I did this with my friends and I was talking to them, and when we did this, we sort of decided we were going to do them individually, and I thought I could get them all framed together so it still looks like one cohesive piece, which could be really, really cool. So I am excited to do that. Everything is the same size and the same sort of tones. So for winter, I've got a purple fabric, and for autumn, I've got an orangey fabric. And I just think they're going to look really, really good. Really, really good. They're very pretty. They are all printed from Sew It All. So they have the printed color on one side and the back is completely white, which is fine, and they seem really stable. So doing 1/1 on them is no problem. I'm not having issues with slippage or anything like that, which has been really, really nice, especially because I have to keep jumping with this project because there's so many different techniques on it. And I think that's why I like it so much. So we've got the 1/1 on the skin, we've got 2/2 for the scales and the hair. We've obviously got beading, we've got back stitching, which in some sections is normal to connect the beads, and in other sections we've got couching just to give her a really clean line across her arms and her body. And it's just got so much going for it. And of course then there's treasure braid in here as well, and krynic and all sorts of fun things. So I'm really, really happy that I'm back onto these pieces because they give me so much variation in between each of the little portions of them, whether it be beading or whether it be backstitch or couch, or, you know, having to sit fussy with metallic threads to make them sit right and things like that. But I am really enjoying it, and I love the idea that it's got so many different techniques to learn within one piece. So I am very excited. So I am hoping to get her sort of moved along in the Christmas break. I would like to start all 4 of them and have them all going at once. I know that that's not really a thing to have all of your stitch along parts going at one time, but we're behind, so it's okay. It's okay. We're going to stitch it our way and it'll be fine. So I do have the mermaids all on giant scroll frames. I have borrowed one from my friend down at the Woodcraft, so I have enough to put them up. So again, I've just got another one in the room, and it's got the 2 pieces for winter and autumn on it, so that I'll be able just to switch between everybody and I can keep my mojo going. I think it'll be good. So my plan at the moment is to finish the 1/1 skin as much as possible on this first mermaid. And then when that's done and I have the space to go down and do the big chunky 2/2 stitches, I would like to start one of the other one's skins so that it also lines up and everything looks good. And that way I'll have a break from the 1/1 and I can go backwards and forwards and sort of get a lot of progress on both for those little tiny dopamine hits that mean the world. But yeah, that's what they're up to. So that's everything that I have worked on in the past 2 weeks. It's been a lot. It's been a roller coaster. As I said, things just keep calling to me. I walk in and it's like that one scene from Hamilton where they're like, hey, hey, hey. And I have to respond. It's rude not to, you know. It's rude not to. So I have been working my tailbone off, and I am hoping that this continues and the momentum just keeps happening. I'm really enjoying having the bounce and having the different things to show you guys and share with you. And it's nice to see different kinds of fabric come into play as well, whether it be, you know, a dark fabric or a sparkly fabric or a 28 count or a 32 or a linen. I just really am enjoying the difference and the change in all of my things. So I think I'm gonna have to keep varied projects in the future. I really like that. As for plans for the next couple of weeks, I would like to get a bit more done on my mermaids. I would like to get some grass in on my scary sampler, because forever grass. I would like to get one more color done on the creepy Christmas village, and I would like to get one cryptid done on the Christmas monster stitch along. And I would also like to work a little bit on Books Are Magic and keep the study of skulls up to date. So that is a lot to fit into 2 weeks. It's not a big space. Not a big space when you work full time, hey. But I think we'll get there. I think we'll be okay. But for now, that's everything from me. I'll see you guys again really, really soon. But until then, you stay safe, you be happy, and you craft something beautiful. I'll see you again soon, crafty creators. Bye.